It's martini time. Welcome to our happy hour. I try to get here at 5 o'clock. I'll be a little earlier, a little late, but it's our time together to talk about what at least I can talk about what I've experienced and seen today that caught my attention. And this is way too much martini. Let me reduce the size of it a little bit. There, that's much less. Did you notice what I just did? That when I had this is the same amount of martini here, same amount of liquid, but in this glass it's smaller than when it's in this glass. So what I just thought of was that the background or the cup determines the meaning of the content. So if you change the background or the cup, you change the value or the meaning of the content. The content stays the same, but its reference changes the meaning of it. So the content, which is the martini liquid, it stays the same, but it's reference to the background or the size of the cup. So this looks like a little bit of martini, but in this glass here, the reference is now the smaller cup. So it appears to be more martini. Isn't that interesting? That the background is what the background is. If the background changes, it changes the meaning of the foreground. So the foreground here is the actual liquid, which stays the same, but you can change the value of it by switching the background. Now, we were just watching Midsummer's Murders, which is a British murder series that ran, I think, for a long time. I've been watching it for a long time. But anyway, it's up in the 90s now. And this takes place in a small British town. And the particular conflict of cultures today was the war between two camera shops. One was film and the dark room and the old cameras, and the other one was a digital camera shop with computers and pixels. And what struck me was that when there was and I remember this because I was a photographer, I am still, but I remember the transitional period when the film was being replaced by this new crazy digital camera. It was so exciting, but the film people said the quality is not there. You just don't change over. It was a religious war. Don't go digital. Stay with your medium format. The quality, the fineness, the art of it, the depth is being destroyed by this flat digital world. The digital world is flat. And in the digital world, you can change the background to change the meaning of the foreground. So you can take images out, take images in. I have a job today. A woman came that wanted to take her son out of a picture and change the background. So I can do that. So this struck me today is that this is a revolution in consciousness, because suddenly, for the first time, reality is changeable. You see, before, digital in the computers marked a change or a shift in the way we perceive reality. Because when you look at it through film, what you shoot is what it is. You never thought it was manipulated. It could have been, but it was a very difficult process. So what you took a picture of was the background and the foreground of reality. Now, with digital, you can take a picture of something, keep the foreground, change the background, and change the meaning of the foreground. And this is happening everywhere now, and we don't really realize the depth And what this has done to our belief in reality that we used to think was stable. We used to believe that the reality we saw was the real reality. And now we're not so sure. It's alternative facts. It's alternative reality. Now, particularly in politics today, any fact will have a different meaning depending on the story background you put behind it, you see. So the fact, the liquid, the martini stays the same, you just change the bowl and you change the meaning of it, you see. So it's like a green screen and the weatherman. If you take a picture of anything or you see anything on the media, the foreground can be seen in two different realities, but the facts of the actual facts of the foreground stay the same. So I've got 2 shots of gin here. That stays the same no matter what glass you put it in, but its value changes. So we're in a value-changing world. See, or a meaning and value is the same thing. So it's interchangeable now. Reality is up for grabs. You see, and this creates a very unstable, uncertain feeling, like an earthquake, you know, like what I thought was real is now, I don't know. You see, it's kind of shaky. The world's trembling a little bit. We're never sure what's real and what isn't. So we've lost the sword of discernment that has always been in our hand, which is able to tell the difference between reality and unreality. And now we're not sure. So who do we believe, you see? So we believe the story or the one who presents the reality that makes me feel good, that makes me feel that it's right, you see. So now my feelings determine what's real and not. This was never the case before. This is a new reality. And we really have to learn how to swim in it. We really have to learn how to understand the water we're swimming in. The water's different. And it's going to take a while for us to learn and evolve and develop a new sort of discernment so we can tell the difference between reality and unreality. Because if we can't tell the difference between sanity and insanity. And that's a bad place to be, you see. Because we cannot live with insanity. We can't live in unreality because we're real. So we cannot tolerate being not real. You can't be not real. But if you believe this reality and it doesn't sync with another reality, then we've got a neurosis developing of not being able to choose two worlds. So what happens when that happens? We have to have an authority to come in and tell us what's real. Because we can't choose. And when you can't choose, it's like sticking a microphone up to an amplifier and it goes wow, 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 wow. So the only way to stop the wow, wow, wow of the oscillation between two realities is to have some authority come in and tell you what's real. And then you say, thank you for making me sane and stopping the pain and the earthquake in my mind, you know. And now I'm dependent upon you to tell me the truth, you see. And we have to get rid of those guys because they're not telling the truth, you see. So anyway, remember this, that if you want to make your martini smaller, just get a bigger glass. That's all you have to do. So, happy Martini Day, and I'll see you tomorrow.